This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted today to be joined with 2024 Paris Olympic bronze medalist Lewis Richardson. Mate, how's things? How does that sound?
Sounds class, mate. Welcome to Colchester in my local barbershop, Jack Finch Hair. So yeah, welcome here, and yeah, it feels great to hear that. Heard it a few times over the past week or so, but not getting bored of it one bit, and I'm sure I won't for potentially the rest of my life, because you keep saying that again, a proud moment. So yeah, extremely grateful.
Yeah, definitely. We are at your barbers today, but yeah, I guess I don't really know where to start, to be honest, but. If we're just talking this past week or so, you've obviously got the medal around your neck there. It's been about a week. How's it all sunk in? Has it sunk in? Like, how's life now? It's a little bit different. It's got to be.
Definitely different. It's difficult to say if it's sunk in, because obviously I don't know fully how it's meant to feel. But one thing I will say, it feels pretty good. I'm happy. I'm enjoying life. Keep saying it, but I'm feeling extremely grateful and really proud of sort of what I've achieved, and thankful for everyone who's sort of been on the journey with me. But yeah, I must admit it's been pretty hectic, but I'm all here for it. I'm saying yes to every opportunity, every sort of media opportunity, especially national sort of stuff. It's all great sort of exposure for myself, and I just feel like I'm happy the way I'm dealing with everything. It's busy and I'm getting a lot of spotlight and a lot of attention, but I'm staying true to myself, keeping my values to my core, and yeah, happy with how things are going for sure.
Definitely. Well, I guess first things first, we'll start on the whole tournament. Obviously came in a bronze medalist, coming up short in the semi-finals, losing to Marco Verde on a split, which I think many people, including yourself, thought you did do enough. I guess a question I have for you, like in a tournament like that where you're happy with a bronze medal, how much of assessing your performance from that tournament do you do?
It's difficult, because you say happy with winning the bronze, and it's like any other tournament you wouldn't be happy with the bronze, or you do go for gold. And it's no different to coming out to Paris. I was going out there to win gold, but just something different about the Olympic Games, and something different about an Olympic medal, let alone any medal. A bronze medal, or silver or gold is just something special about achieving that. So I think you see in my post-fight interview after I lost in the semis, I was sort of disappointed, and it was quite hard to take. But I've made a real conscious effort to celebrate it, and not sort of dwell on the fact that the 3-2 split decision didn't go my way in the semi-final, because it could have went either way. And we thought we'd done enough, but it wasn't meant to be on the night. And yeah, listen, I'm an Olympic bronze medalist, and it's still an amazing achievement. So I want to make the most of it. I want to celebrate that, and these moments sort of soon after winning, achieving what I've achieved, and these will come and go really, really quick. So I want to make the most of it, and really be in a good headspace. And yeah, so far so good.
Definitely, for sure. And I guess one thing that was important about this tournament as well, including Cindy as well, you two are both the only medalists from GB, only ones to get out of the round of 16. Yeah, I guess for yourself, you got it for your teammates, but is there that added incentive as well that sort of you done the best on GB?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was really difficult, because I went last out of the whole team, so no one had boxed, no one had, like, from Team GB. Obviously Cindy is one of us, unfortunately she hasn't got British citizenship, so she hasn't got a British passport to represent Team GB at the moment, but she is one of us, and we won 2 medals as a team. But under the Team GB flag, obviously every single opponent had lost before me. Every one of our fighters had lost before me, so there was that added pressure, and people kept hearing the word pressure in the build up to my fight. And
did you think?
No, well, I think subconsciously I probably did, but consciously I was making an effort to just drown that noise out, because I was in a real good mindset heading into the games. It was almost like the Olympics as a whole was a celebration. I wasn't even meant to be at the Olympics. I'm sure we spoke up on the journey to get here, so I wasn't really meant to be there, but I sort of created that path for myself, made it happen, and I almost sort of compared it to university and like graduating. So the Olympic Games for me was my graduation. That was a celebration. Qualifying, was the hard part. Qualifying was doing my dissertation and making that link. So in my head, of course, I wanted to do well, and you know, I knew I was capable of doing well, but I knew the hard work I'd been put in. I'd lived the life. I've been living the life for years. You know, people who know me, you know, they have no doubt that I do all the right things, and so everything was done, and I felt like what would be. Everything was written out, and all I could do was go and perform, and that's what I did. And yeah, it's brought me back an Olympic bronze medal, so it's not too sad.
With you, yeah, that's interesting. You say there about that sort of that the idea of pressure and sort of what will be. I'll sort of get into another thing in a minute, but after you beat the Serbian, there was a nice sort of, and I noticed it, and I felt like there was the celebration, but there was a massive sort of not I guess a celebration of relief. I mean, it could have been that way. It was a massive sort of roar, I guess, from yourself. Was it taken that way? You was like, that was almost an outburst of emotions that all came into that moment, you could say?
Yeah, I think so. I think when my hand was raised, I was quite calm. I believe I'd done that, which basically, for me, it was signifying just a mental strength to be able to come through all the adversity, come through the pressure, come through all their moments, and just get the job done in that first bout. And then very soon after, I think 2 or 3 seconds later, I just let a massive sort of uproar come on, and it was that was obviously the real emotion coming out of me. It was a little bit of relief, but it was just, I guess it was a big relief, not only for me but for the whole team, because, you know, from a media point of view, there was a big thing about Team GB. One, not having as many boxers in Paris as we did in Tokyo, but 2, also everyone losing in the first round, bar me. So I believe there was a lot of backlash coming if I wouldn't have pulled that through. And GB Boxing, for me, they've stayed very loyal to me and really backed me. So it's really nice to be able to repay them and sort of get the job done, you know, for myself, but also for them.
Definitely. And one thing I actually wanted to bring up with yourself, and I see you posted it on your Instagram story actually, and I don't know, I think she was Australian, but I can't remember the sort of athlete but I think she got a gold medal or a bronze or something. Yeah. She got a bronze, and she spoke about almost the medal not defining her, but wanting it as well. And did you feel like that? Like, no matter, you've got this round your neck and it's amazing, but that won't define you. You know, a tournament doesn't define you. All the work that you put in before that is really what shows the sort of character you are. Would you sort of second what she was saying?
100%, great question. And it passes me by what event she done, but you know, she won the Olympic bronze, and she said it's wanting the medal but not needing it. And you know, I've worked a lot on myself, like physically for years and years, but mentally I've had a real focus on, like, from a psychological point of view over the last sort of 9 months to a year. And listen, like, the hard work's done. All you can go out there and do is perform, and as long as you're proud of your performances, then what more can be done? Boxing is a very subjective sport, so you'll have 5 judges around the ring, and you know, on one day you win 5-0, on the next day you lose 5-0. They're close fights. We're in the Olympic Games. Everyone's at a world level. Every single boxer I boxed in Paris was ranked above me in the world. I've seen tweets in the past, Richardson can't perform at the top level. Every time he boxes a world level fighter, he gets beat. And I'm happy to prove them people wrong over the last couple of weeks, because, you know, on paper I was meant to lose every single one of them fights, and I was able to come through the first 2 and obviously lose on a very close one in the third. But in regards to that wanting not needing, that was a big mindset of mine. It was like, even though the pressure was on, it was like, okay, I want to do well, but as long as I perform well, it's almost like just being more sort of performance focused rather than results driven. Like, the result won't define me. It's my process, you know. And people say, you know, it's a journey, not the destination, and it has been that for me. Of course, I'm aware of what the destination brings, and achieving what I've achieved will obviously put me in good stead for the future, which I'm super excited about and super grateful for. But I think, as long as I can be proud of myself, as long as I conduct myself in a good way, then why can't you be proud of yourself anyway? Yeah. Luckily for me, I've got the best of both worlds now, so it's good. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that actually about the critics, about sort of saying that you couldn't perform at top level, and I was actually going to sort of previously mention it to you before the Olympic Games, but it feels a lot more sweet to do that now, because I think, you know, and I wasn't one of them, but there was a lot of critics even when you got sort of selected for the qualifiers, when sort of GB made that sort of announcement that you was going to be the 71 kilo. A lot of people were kicking off about sort of why others weren't selected, why it was you. So that must fuel you even more now that not only did you qualify, but you medalled as well.
Just shows the right decision was made. And it's difficult because them boys at 71, I like them all, you know. But listen, it's my Olympic dream versus their Olympic dream, and I feel like my desire showed that I wanted it more. You know, it is what it is. It's a brutal, cutthroat sport. But what I would say is, you know, from them sort of critics who were saying stuff, they're not in the gym every day. The people in the gym every day see how hard me and others work, and see what we're capable of doing, see how we can perform on the big stage. And yeah, like, one thing about me is I'm consistent. And fortunately now I'm consistent at a top level. I'm really happy the way I performed, not only at the games but also at the qualifiers. So the limit qualifiers were like the highest pressure situation in the world, more pressure in the Olympic Games by far, because you got to get there, you got to get to them Olympic Games. And obviously was aware of the critics and the squad in Bangkok. Again, I was the only one that qualified there, so it was like there was a lot riding on a lot of pressure on my shoulders, and yeah, it was just so good to be able to come through with that. And I mean, talk about emotion. After I qualified, now I can stop crying. And it's a completely different emotion to the Olympic Games, because as I said, the Olympic Games really did feel like a celebration for me, whereas the qualifying was like such a massive relief. Like I've known I'm capable for years and years, but it's just a case of it's all right knowing it, but you've got to do it. And I was so happy with the way I've conducted myself. I mean, I've had 18 fights in the last 9 months, and 15 of them have been at light middleweight, which isn't easy to make the weight. It wasn't easy to make the weight. Luckily, I won't have to do it as an amateur again, potentially. But yeah, like every single, you know, it's been worth every single moment, because yeah, as George Crotty, my best mate, says, the squeeze will be worth the juice. And yeah, this is some of the juice, but also within here, that's some of the juice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on the previous question, you talked about sort of how the dream and having that Olympic dream, and I did want to give a shout out to John Dennon from Sky, who put a tweet out about a DM you sent him in 2021 about you said, no, we'll be doing an interview, you'll be going to the Olympics and this and that in 2024, and I'm sure manifestation would have been big for yourself, from your first fight in Billericay or Essex to sort of, I think 160, 63, 60
120.
Oh, okay, I was a bit off. Yeah, so like, and to see that now and you put the planning together, it makes it all better.
100%, you know. And you talk about manifestation. I don't know if that's, you know, the right word for me specifically, but it's just about having that dream and just working hard towards it. I'm just a big sports fan, so what I've just experienced the last few weeks, you know, rubbing shoulders with some of the best athletes in the world from you know, multiple different sports, has just been an absolute dream come true. And there's been ups and downs along the way, and there's been certain moments along the way where you think this isn't going to happen. Obviously, missed out on Tokyo, which was really difficult. Lost to Kuzniak. COVID meant we only had one qualifier, so it wasn't meant to be in Tokyo. But when I sent that tweet to John, I think it was, you know, mid 2021, after I just lost to Kuzniak, I was in full belief that I was going to make the Paris 2024 Olympics at middleweight. Obviously, there was a big change of events within those 3 years, but I mean, regardless, I stayed consistent, stayed true to myself, and yeah, I just feel like I deserve it, you know, and I've earned it. Like nothing I've done's been given. Like, I've earned every single bit of it, and it just makes it even sweet, you know. There's no hand-me-outs, and it applies to many amateur boxers, you know. Most amateur boxing, there's no hand-me-outs in amateur boxing. You really have to earn your way, and yeah, it's no easy feat to be an Olympian, let alone an Olympic medalist. Yeah.
Forgive me if it feels like I'm going over the same things, but you mentioned there about the weight change and being a 75 kilo, dropping down 71. Pre-games, we spoke about that night in Benidorm where you was like, I believe I can do this. And boxing's always about critical decisions and critical thinking at critical moments. You've got the ultimate price for that. So that must, when you look back on all those memories now, having that in one motion must be amazing.
Yeah, return on investment. Yeah. The sacrifices. As I said, I'm back in Colchester now. I love getting around on my push bike, and I was biking here to meet you today, and I was just thinking, wow, I've sacrificed so much for what I've just experienced. But wouldn't change any of it for the world. And obviously a big sacrifice was cutting down to 71, which has been, you know, a pretty tough 9 months from a nutrition point of view. And my girlfriend's been brilliant. My dad been very sort of supportive. Even though I do most of the cooking, but she's been very supportive and understanding of moments where, you know, I haven't got the energy I usually have, or don't want to do. I don't want to be going out or doing bits or bobs. So I just want to chill, you know, just chill and relax. So listen, there's been so many sacrifices along the way, but I wouldn't change any of them for the world.
Definitely, and I guess everyone on GB makes sacrifices, and you know it's all for a great prize. And one moment I also wanted to talk to you about was I think it was a closing ceremony with you and Cindy hugging, sort of when you met on stage and that. With the Eiffel Tower in the background, how was that as a moment that you've obviously both achieved bronze medals? And I mean, her journey's incredible, and obviously your journey's incredible as well. But that must have been quite something as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's at Champions Park. So Paris 2024 done a really unique thing this year where you received your medal, and then the following day you went to do Champions Park, so it was 13,000 spectators just coming and cheering on every Olympic medalist who had received their medal the day before. Cindy hadn't received their medal because she was waiting for a final to take place, so she was receiving it that evening. And it was a real special moment, and obviously there's been a lot of media attention around that moment. And what I would say is, you know, when we was there, it just felt like there was no one else watching. It was a real special moment. Cindy's a special woman. We have a great relationship, and I'm really excited for what the future holds for her. But even like sharing the British flag, like it wasn't meant for nothing else apart from me and her taking a photo with the photographers to be able to sort of have that moment together. And I shared my medal with her so she could get some photos, because she deserves everything that's coming her way. You know, she's on the path to stardom, and yeah, she deserves everything. But it was a special moment. Honestly, if I told you how many amazing moments I'd had, you wouldn't believe me. Some of the people I met, Henry, literally as I was crossing paths, as me and Cindy were getting the photos, like 30 seconds later, Henry's passing me by, and I'm getting a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower of Henry, and it's like Zinedine Zidane and Andy Murray, like Noah Lyles. Honestly, some of the people I met was just ridiculous. Mick Jagger, Princess Anne, Natasha Bedingfield. It's just like the list could go on. But yeah, it's mad because I've never really been in the public eye too much, but from sort of the feedback and the love and the support I've received, I just feel like, yeah, I'm meant for this stage. And the way I performed at the games, you know, Roland Garros, what a special venue to box at, 15,000 people there, and it puts me in a comfortable position to know that in the future, like when these big nights come again, which they're gonna come, that, you know, I'm made for that stage.
Absolutely, and one thing I did want to talk about with Lewis, and I guess, you know, it might not be sort of your business to talk about it and that, but there was obviously a lot of controversy around boxing at the Olympics, especially in 2024, with obviously all the stuff with Imane, Khelif and everything like that. When you've got that much media attention, and I guess partially a lot of it for the wrong reasons and stuff, was there ever a point, I guess, in the Olympic sort of camp or anything like that ever became a distraction, or it was sort of did it ever bother you, I guess?
I'd say no. I'd say the only reason it did bother me is just because I felt like it took away from the level of competition that was at. These Olympic Games are so hard to qualify for. Like the level of competition was just, you know, it was unbelievable. Every single bout was extremely hard at every weight. So you know, it was difficult to see, and I did feel quite sorry for, you know, for those individuals. But yeah, listen, like all we could do was focus on the controllables, and that was making sure we were best prepared to go in there and get the job done. And fortunately for myself, I was able to do that.
Definitely, and I guess as for 2028 as well, boxing status for there is still up in the air. I think they've got about a year, obviously, to deal with it, and obviously we know what's going on with the IBA, World Boxing, and everything like that. You've made great memories at the Olympics of boxing. How concerning do you think it would be to see boxing not at 2028?
It'd be awful. It'd be such a shame. Boxing is such an iconic sport, and as a very iconic sport within the Olympic movement. It's one of the first Olympic sports that kept on, and that gladiatorial role, which links back to obviously the Greek and the Greek gods sort of thing, which links to the Olympics. I just think it would be such a shame. You know, I'm very hopeful that the world boxing and the OIC can bring something together to keep it there, keep it in the games, and especially with it being in LA where boxing is such a massive sport in America. I'm hopeful and I'm confident they'll be able to work something out. But yeah, I mean, it'd be awful, and especially for these young aspiring athletes, because I hope I've been able to express how special the Olympics was to me, and I hope that's, you know, a reflection of the majority of athletes who go to the games, and, you know, depriving future athletes of that, it just sort of really narrows the path down of where they can go. You get people turn over really early without the experiences. Like, aside from the experience I've gained from a performance point of view in boxing, some of the life experience I've had through being with GB Boxing, you know, been second to none, and like I've lived some of my best moments of my life through boxing and through travelling the world with boxing. So yeah, like it would be a massive shame if it wasn't to be in LA.
Absolutely. Final couple from myself. A question I think I have for you. I see Pat's already got one, but it's tradition. Are we getting the Olympic tattoo? I don't see any tattoos on you now, but it wouldn't be a bad first one.
It's already done.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't even know. Oh,
it's healing.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Keep an eye on my socials next week, but I'm happy with it. Listen, it's really special. It was already booked in before I went, because I wanted to, regardless of what happened, I wanted to be proud of what I'd done, and you know, it's a real stamp of sort of you earn that, you know, you deserve that, and yeah, it's done. You'll find out where in the next week or so, but I'm really happy with it, and yeah, even more special that I've been able to get a win and Olympic bronze alongside it. Yeah.
And obviously at the Olympics there was major support for yourself. You had, you know, a big fan base. To see it all on your TikTok, a lot of the scenes after you beat the Serbian and the Georgian and stuff. So yeah, I guess with the option now, you've been pretty clear about it potentially being pro. It's going to come with a lot of support as well.
I hope so. Listen, I'm one of the only, you know, successful sort of athletes from Colchester, so I'm hoping the city can get behind me. I'm confident they will. Also, massive Leeds fans. I'm hoping you know, we can get some sort of traction from the Leeds fans. We've seen the way they support Josh Warrington over the years and other boxers, so I'm sure, you know, they'll get behind me as well. Looking to do football sort of pitch side with both clubs, you know, like sooner rather than later, and just the whole of Great Britain. I think the beauty of the Olympics is it brings national pride every 4 years. We don't get that national pride anywhere else. There's usually a lot of negativity around the nation, and even with the football, you know, that draws a lot of negativity with our national team, whereas the Olympic Games hits different. So yeah, I'm hoping that the whole of the country can get behind me, which I'm sure they will, and I'm sure I'll bring some exciting nights around the country and maybe worldwide.
Definitely, and I guess now, what is the plan in place for you to turn pro? I know we had a little bit of a chat off camera about things. I see you on Sky Sports News with Chris Eubank Jr. He was bigging you up. He said, you know, talking's definitely not something that you're weak at. But yeah, I guess now, what is the plan in place? Because you're obviously going to be a hot prospect, and every promoter is going to be hot on your tails. So how do you deal with that when you've got that much interest, I guess?
Yeah, Chris was very complimentary, and I've had so much love and support. Like, I really appreciate it, you know, everyone's comments. I've had like new fans, so to speak, all over Twitter, Instagram, other social media, just like saying how well I'm coming across, and just, you know, how proud they are for me to represent the country, which is, you know, feels special. Regarding what's next, obviously, you know, it's difficult to shy away from the attention and the headlines of, you know, turning professional. More importantly, right now, I want to say a massive thank you to GB Boxing, Team GB, for everything they've done for me. It's been, you know, a special sort of journey for me, and memories that will last a lifetime, and memories that will be in my heart forever. Moving forwards, obviously, you know, I will look to turn professional, and it's really exciting. I really want to build a good, strong, solid team around me. And I really want to go on and achieve massive things. Obviously, being the only Great British under the British flag to win a medal at Paris 2024 Olympics, and if it wasn't to be in LA, you know, I'll potentially be Great Britain's last ever boxing medalist, so you know there's potentially history to be made there. But no, really exciting. Obviously the interest I've had you know a lot of messages and a lot of sort of interest from that aspect. But for now, I want to chill out, relax, celebrate this moment. That's only short term. You know, I only need 2, 3, 4 weeks to do that. And I train all the time. I keep fit. I stay healthy. I don't drink. So you know, I'll be in a really good position to springboard off this and turn professional and you know make the whole nation sort of get behind me again.
Yeah, absolutely. And a final one for myself. Yeah, I guess if you just have a word for everyone who supported you, not just in Paris, but sort of in the qualifiers and in all your tournaments. You know, we spoke before about your brother who was there from the first one till the last. So yeah, I guess if you've just got a thanks to them as well.
Listen, yeah, as you say, just thank you. And I've repeated myself a few times in different interviews, but like I feel extreme amount of sort of gratitude for these moments, for the moments I've shared, but also the moments I've created for everyone else. You know, like I had about 30, 40, 50 people come out to Paris, and like just to seeing the smile on their face, it was so special because it's not just me that I'm making an impact to, it's everyone else. And you know, I want people to leave a room with Lewis Richardson and be like, yeah, I had a more positive day because I met Lewis today, or because I spoke to Lewis today, and I want that sort of relationship to be reciprocated. So yeah, thank you to everyone who supported the journey. I've had local sponsors along the way who have been absolutely massive help. So massive thank you to them. Coaches, family, friends, old bosses, just everyone. Listen, the list is too much to name people, but. If you've helped me, then I hope it brings you a little bit of fulfillment because you know what a journey, and I'm super happy. So yeah, thank you.
No, it's a pleasure, mate, and I do appreciate your time as always. And yeah, Lewis, thank you for taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me get an introduction to Colchester. So it's definitely one. It's different from when I see in Gillingham always beat Colchester. So yeah, it's quite a nice difference. But yeah, I really appreciate your time. And as always, I know I messed you, but well done for all your achievements because I was watching that as a fan and I was delighted for you, mate. So yeah, appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Cheers.